John von Neumann was one of many Hungarian and Jewish intellectuals who fled Europe's political turmoil and sought a new life in the United States. He arrived in 1930 with his new wife, Mariette Kövesi, accepting Oswald Veblen's invitation to lecture on quantum theory at Princeton University. His first year was spent as a visiting lecturer, after which he joined the faculty. By the age of 30, he had become the youngest professor at the Institute for Advanced Study within the mathematics faculty. With his youthful looks and energy, he was often mistaken for a graduate student. Israel Halperin, a mathematician from the University of Toronto, recalled those Princeton years as follows. Between 1933 and 1936, Princeton hosted names like Eisenhardt, Lefschetz, Wedderburn, Church, Robertson, Wigner, Bochner, Wilkes, Tucker, Bohnenblust, Veblen, von Neumann, Alexander, Weil, and Einstein. In addition, visitors such as Montgomery, Brouwer, Coxeter, Gödel, Bernays, Ulam, Dirac, Pauli, and many others would come and go. Among this galaxy of stars, von Neumann shone brightly. His lectures on Hilbert spaces, measure theory, operator algebras, today called von Neumann algebras, and continuous geometry captivated audiences. During the afternoon teas, he became the center of debate, clarifying complex problems with astonishing speed. Von Neumann's intellect became legendary among his peers. A remark that circulated among mathematicians at the time summed it up. Most mathematicians prove what they can. Von Neumann proves what he wants. During World War II, he applied his knowledge not only in theory, but to practical problems in hydrodynamics, ballistics, meteorology, statistics, and game theory. He contributed to the Manhattan Project and later served on various government committees. His wide vision allowed him to foresee computers as more than fast calculators, and at Princeton, he launched the Electronic Computer Project. His efforts were recognized with the Presidential Medal of Merit and the Distinguished Civilian Service Award in 1947, followed by the Presidential Medal of Freedom from Eisenhower in 1956, along with the Einstein Commemorative Award and the Enrico Fermi Award. His reputation became international. He was a member of prestigious bodies such as the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, the National Academy of Sciences, and the Royal Netherlands Academy of Arts and Sciences, and was awarded honorary doctorates from multiple countries.
As Sylvia Nassar wrote, he not only showed physicists, economists, and engineers the power of mathematics, but also made even pure mathematicians recognize the irresistible appeal of applying mathematics to real-world problems. In 1954, von Neumann was appointed one of 5 commissioners of the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission. A year later, he was diagnosed with cancer, and on February 8, 1957, he passed away at just 53 years of age. Born in Budapest in 1903 as János, nicknamed Janchi, von Neumann, he was regarded as a prodigy from a young age. His father, Max Neumann, was a respected lawyer and financier who obtained nobility status in 1913, after which the family name became von Neumann. Janchi had a phenomenal memory. As a child, he could memorize random pages from the phone book and recite them to the amazement of guests. He studied in Budapest, Berlin, and Zurich, earning degrees in chemical engineering and a doctorate in mathematics. In 1926, he completed his dissertation on set theory and then worked with David Hilbert at Göttingen. In 1928, his paper Theory of Parlor Games introduced the Minimax theorem and laid the foundations of game theory. Later, this theory became a strategic tool to describe U.S.-Soviet relations during the Cold War. Von Neumann was not only a brilliant scientist, but also a colorful personality. Known for his wit, humor, and cheerful nature, he was loved by friends. He hosted parties, enjoyed practical jokes, and was famous for his fast driving. Throughout his life, he worked both in academia and in critical government projects, leaving behind a multifaceted legacy. In his final writings, he reflected on humanity's future, stressing that science and technology were neutral tools, capable of good or harm. They could benefit humanity only when combined with patience, flexibility, and intelligence. His last, unfinished work explored the similarities between the human brain and computers. It was published posthumously as The Computer and the Brain. Today, John von Neumann is remembered as one of the founding fathers of modern computer science, the creator of game theory, and one of the most influential thinkers of the 20th century. Einstein's remark. At the Institute in Princeton, when asked whether von Neumann was really that brilliant, Einstein replied, "There is no one more intelligent." The chessless chess player. Von Neumann loved chess, but often refused to play. To him, it was too slow. He once said, "Chess is not really a test of intelligence. It is a game for people of limited intellect." Memory power. As a boy in Budapest, he entertained guests by memorizing random pages from the phone book and reciting them back to the amazement of guests. This prodigious memory later enabled him to solve complex equations instantly in his head. The human calculator. At Princeton, when a group of professors was struggling with a differential equation, von Neumann happened to walk by. Within a minute, he gave the correct answer. One astonished professor asked, "How did you do that? You didn't even write anything down." Von Neumann replied with a smile, "Why would I write it down? The solution was right before my eyes." 5. His humor. Von Neumann was also known for his humor. He often joked with students and lightened even the most serious meetings with witty remarks. At Princeton parties, he recited limericks that left everyone laughing. Gödel and von Neumann. The famous logician Kurt Gödel was deeply introverted, while von Neumann was lively and sociable. In Princeton discussions, Gödel would ponder in silence, while von Neumann responded instantly. Colleagues described their interactions as light and shadow. On his deathbed. Even as cancer advanced, von Neumann continued to think and work. Visitors found him still engaged in scientific discussions. One friend remarked, "He chose to keep his mind working until his very last breath."